Victory or death!
Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada. Get ready? Prepare for blastoff.
Victory at F Starfighters. My name is Carlin Jones, and this is a Starfighter full movie podcast. And today we are watching the 2020 play. It's a play, but it's a movie. Hamilton. And oh my goodness, this was 100% my choice for this episode, because today I brought along a special guest, or you guess I'd say I brought her back due to, I guess, popular demand.
Popular demand.
Yeah.
Oh my
So, hey, Darby, how's it going?
It's going pretty good, Carlin. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just can't wait to see this so-called American history that this play is about to show.
You said you wanted to see more theater, and in the age of COVID, some theater has gotten more accessible than ever before, and I would say Hamilton is one of those.
Sure.
And I'm actually very interested to hear what you have to say about it.
That's true. And you know what? I've been trying to. I feel like I've been trying to watch more theater after our first podcast together.
Wait, have you watched more? It's only been like a week.
Well, okay, maybe I haven't watched any theater, but I did look up the last Starfighter musical, which is basically a play, but it's only in audio form. So it's like over an hour, and it's awesome. It's like a whole new alternate movie of it. But I've been trying, and I've rewatched Sweeney Todd, so I think I am ready for this so-called play.
Nice. Yeah, no, actually, a lot of people, I know, me included, got into Hamilton first through the soundtrack. So maybe you'll discover this new kind of love for the Starfighter musical first through the soundtrack. It sounds almost like a sci-fi opera.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. My problem with musicals, and I feel like I like musicals, but I can't name any musicals I like besides Sweeney Todd and... Well,
Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, well, I like Mamma Mia, but there's only like one song I really like on there. But
is it the main one, the Mamma Mia? Here we
okay,
go.
now there's two. So that one and the ABBA song, "The Dancing Queen."
You love. Oh my God.
Do you remember?
I didn't even know.
Do you remember seeing that on the Even Stevens episode?
Yes, of course I remember the Even Stevens episode. No, that was great. One of my favorites is Repo, the genetic opera on Netflix, but I guess that's not really a theater show. That's been, I don't know. I just love weird operatic performances, I guess.
Oh, I can tell. The way you describe how you write your plays.
Oh, don't even.
Trust me, we're going to get into all of that. But, yeah. We were talking about, well, I'll probably just talk about that during the play too. There's so much to talk about. There's so much to dive in.
Mm-hmm. And see, here's the thing. This is where it's going to be tricky. Are you going to get caught up in the songs and not want to talk?
Okay.
Is the question.
You see, that's what I wanted to say before we start. So I don't know what it is about musicals. I feel like I like musicals, but the last musical I saw was in Encanto. And
this is very different.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you have a sense of Lin-Manuel's style then.
Okay, that's cool, but I just feel that musicals are just weird because it's 100%. Like none of it's organic in terms of like why would they be singing right now?
Well, I think that's the thing that's different from musicals versus like like regular dramatic play, like. People say straight play, but I'm trying to be, LGBT inclusive. No, I don't even know what to call it actually at this point. So I'm just gonna go with straight play for now until I find a better one. I'll come back with a better term.
It's a linear play.
Linear, sure, yeah, we could do that. A musical versus a linear play. We'll go there. Is that like musicals are much more about the performance. It's about the dance. It's about the song. Whereas straight plays, while they can definitely play with the more abstract imagery and, you know, suspending the idea of time, talking straight to the audience versus talking to people, being believable versus being, what's a good way? Like, I don't know, like, yeah, being believable versus not. I think musicals definitely play more in the entertainment thing than like they tell stories, but they're much more about entertainment
Okay.
than they are about like moving plot forward. But I think that's what's cool about Hamilton is he packs so much information into these songs. And it's almost nonstop. Like you don't really hear, like you hear, that's why I kind of don't like musicals is that
Okay.
you never get any information. You never get any information out of the actors that's not in lyric form.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know. Sweeney Todd, I got enough information. Well, all of it was like emotions.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, all those emotions. Yeah. And I mean, you're talking about the one with Johnny Depp and Helen Bonham Carter, right? Yeah, like, and that one's less of like a standard like musical, right? Like the Barber of Seville, that one, when I saw it in Cincinnati years and years ago with my dad, like it's nonstop song. Like there's not time to like sit there and talk, but it's also all in Italian. So
interesting.
Yeah. So you're there to hear the music. You're there to see the costumes and the half-assed fight scene.
All right. Well, we'll see. Maybe I don't like musicals because every time I see a musical, I just think like, oh wow, you know what? This would be a lot better if they just weren't singing and they just perform. But yeah.
You sound so much like my mom. My mom is the same way. She hates musicals.
Oh, well, all right, Starfighters. If you want to join us, or I guess watch along with us, we are going to be watching Hamilton on Disney Plus because that's the only place you can find it because it's Lin-Manuel. How do you say his name? It's Lin-Manuel. Manuel, right?
Lin-Manuel Miranda. Yeah.
Miranda. Okay.
Lin-Manuel.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Him. Yeah. So we are going to get started with this movie in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm so excited for this. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to this album. I went through that period of like obsession.
This album?
Yeah.
Really?
Before the movie came out, before we ever like saw any copies of it on stage.
Oh, well, the music must be good. Oh wait, this is supposed to have like hip hop stuff, right?
Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah.
All right, we'll see. I better see some Snoop Dogg references or something.
You might be excited. Look at that stage.
Oh yeah, get in your bag right now. your theater bag. You know all this stuff.
Dude, it's just this stage is just like so beautiful. My dad's a set designer and such. Oh my gosh.
Wait, are they supposed to be rapping?
Yep. Well, it's a mix. There are ones that are singers and there are ones that are more rappers, yeah. I'm gonna get his name, but this guy has a band, Clipping. I've been listening to a lot of his stuff since finding him here. Oh my gosh, he's a really cool rapper.
I bet.
And what's cool is that like it's a pretty small like standard ensemble that plays like the main characters.
Mm-hmm.
So in the first act, when they're going through the American Revolution, they all play one character or most of them.
Right.
And then there's a good chunk of those guys that you just saw that become different characters in the second act when like they're establishing the country.
Oh, so it was just like they're on a budget kind of thing.
I mean, every play is on a budget.
Isn't that him?
Yep, that's Lin-Manuel.
I didn't know he acted.
He does. Philippa Sue's like freaking voice gets me every time.
So I've recently just become a fan of this actress that I've watched on an episode of Love Life on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
And she, just reading like her story and her interviews and stuff like that, she recently graduated from Michigan. I want to say, yeah, Michigan State University. Whatever the Wolverines are, I think that's what it is. Because they have like a huge theater program there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to be like super known for it. So she's like, mainly she does like theater work. And she got casted to do some musical. Dude,
theater actors transferring over into film is pretty standard. But you got to have a special talent for it because it's totally different.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of my favorite shows of all time, My So-Called Life, the guy who plays the dad in that came from theater. And he was talking about the best thing about theater is like it helps you remember your lines so well.
Yeah. Well, you do it so many times, whereas with film, you have to memorize it for like one moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But with shows like this, like shows on Broadway, they run for months, and sometimes you're doing multiple shows a day. And it's not just lines. You got to remember exactly where you got to be. You got to remember what you got to pick up. You got to remember choreography.
That's right.
And like this show is packed. That's the guy that plays Washington, and he's so good. Yeah, you are.
I'm trying to figure out what is hip hop about this.
It comes back. This is only the opening. And also just the lighting design in this is so fun.
I can always appreciate lighting.
Yeah, like look at those lamps.
So I don't get it. So obviously he's Hamilton, right?
Yeah, he is.
And this black guy is who?
Aaron Burr.
Is that a black guy?
No. Historically, these guys are both white.
Okay, so that's where I'm getting confused.
No, they just it's this whole idea of like colorblind casting. They just like picked the strongest actor to be able to do it, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, that's what he went for with this show.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that what they did with Brad Pitt when they casted him to do the Mexican?
Maybe? In what movie? I don't know.
Well, that was just a joke. Because he was casted in a movie called The Mexican.
Oh.
I was going to make... What, I forgot what that actor's name is, but he was... A white dude was casted to be Gandhi.
Oh, God, yeah. See, that's just stupid casting. These guys are some of my favorites. You gotta listen to these. hate that line. It's so cliche. And here's the introduction of a recurring theme, everyone. It's funny because he gets shot.
Darby, are you that friend in the theater that when you've already seen the movie and you're with someone who hasn't seen the movie, you just keep like, oh, watch it here, watch what happens here.
I mean, maybe if there's like quality foreshadowing, I'm gonna be like, hey, pay attention. But I'm not gonna be like, yeah, pay attention, because like this, I'm not gonna tell you what it's like hinting at.
Of course not.
See what I'm talking about like packing so much information into these. And I think like, whereas like, for instance, my dad has a really hard time listening to lyrics that are like sung.
Yeah, my dad too.
But when it came to this, and we like introduced him to the album for the first time, he just had to have like the lyrics written out in front of him once, and then he could understand what they were saying. And he was just like, this is really cool. Like, so much happens in every single song. Blah, blah, blah. And like, I think the rap genre and like the hip hop aspects that they incorporated really make it almost accessible to like a new group of people that might not otherwise, go for this. And I love Lafayette. I gotta shut up.
Interesting that you say that.
Yeah,
because I'm obviously I'm more into film, and the golden rule with film is don't say it, or if you're gonna say it, show it, or don't say it, show it. And if you're gonna say it, then also show it as well. So I find it interesting in how this plays, giving so much information about each individual person and their kind of like what they've done in history, but yet we kind of don't see it.
Well, there's like a bigger event that they're leading into, right? Like right now they're introducing these big players that we know, like the Marquis de Lafayette. Like, I know him from history books. The fact that I'm like sitting here seeing him drinking with his friends, like planning a revolution, like, oh, he's so cute. So boom, like, that's kind of what I'm getting with it here. And also, it's a history play, which, like, if you look back at like the tradition of things like Shakespeare, right? You have all of these history plays that go over like these monarchies and kings and stuff. Like, oh my god, like Richard III is one of everybody's like favorites, but god, they're just like hinting at so many different historical events the entire time. I always fall asleep during histories. It's terrible. But
yeah, history was pretty whack, just depending on what it is.
Yeah. But then at the same time, then you get the fun part of like seeing the battles, right? You get the staged combat. You get to see like the intrigue and like the the affairs, like the drama, you might say.
There's so much to dissect with this when I'm watching. I kind of just don't know what to say.
Right? He packs in a lot.
No, I mean, no, it's not that. It's not what he's saying. It's just what I'm watching.
Well, yeah, you're limited by the stage and what you can bring on there, right?
I mean that. I'm thinking of that. I'm thinking of just like the history of they're talking about. I'm thinking about the people who are casted. I'm thinking about Lin Manuel and his choice of of doing this play and why this story of America.
He did talk about wanting to give the story about like the founding of America back to the immigrants that found it. That's like a big image that he's pushed since it got big.
That's interesting. So that kind of brings up a good question of I don't know. I've been I don't know. How can I say this? Or let me just ask it in a question and see what do you think about it?
Go for it.
Let's say okay, let's say for as an analogy or whatever. You've heard of the movie The Color Purple, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. So pretty much all black cast, right? Basically a black story, right? Now, would you say it is a black movie if it wasn't made by someone who's black? Or it is a black movie because of the story and characters?
I guess because I'm not black, I just inherently think that's not my choice or like my place to say whether or not it's a black movie. I defer to people that, I defer to others in that instance. But I would say it contribute. Like I would, because like I work in publishing, like I would say that it does fall within like the African American genre or like the black genre. In terms of like historical, because is it fiction or nonfiction?
What?
I guess the Color Purple. I think it's fiction.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's some true parts.
I've seen
to
the
it.
book. Oh well, yeah, historical fiction.
Right.
I'll have to look it up now.
Right.
It's a nonfiction book.
Right. Yeah. So I'd make.
So are you saying? Yeah. Go on.
What are you gonna say?
I was gonna ask. I was like. So are you saying that this isn't like this wouldn't be a black story or?
Well, that's what I'm trying to decipher.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out that because what is Lin Manuel?
I think he's Latino.
I know he's Latino.
I'm pretty sure.
But I can't. Well, let me just look it up. Well, I know he was born in New York, but
yeah.
See where his family was.
Also, these are the Schuyler sisters. They are important.
I feel like somewhere in an alternate reality, if I would have met you in that alternate reality, and if I never would have seen Star Wars, watching Star Wars with you would be quite hilarious. You see that guy who's breathing really deep, wearing all black? Watch out. Wait for him. That guy he's talking to,
wait for him.
Just watch.
Hey, you see that guy? He's bad.
Or is he?
Or is he? He's actually in every movie. And do you see that turntable? That turntable on the set? It creates such magic.
Yeah. I think that
she's also wicked fast rapper, dude.
I want to know, where is the camera? I know this is like a multi-camera setup, obviously, but
they probably have it on a wire floating like they do at football games and stuff, you know? Because they probably have the rigging to do that as well, like handheld cameras, but then like one on wires. And this is where like Lin Manuel like definitely pushed forward. Well, actually, Angelica and Eliza do go on to do a lot of really wonderful historical stuff. So the fact that they are so feminist and like political is actually probably pretty close to true. And they really do Peggy dirty here. She probably has way more of a story than they give her in this play, but it's okay. That actress goes on to have a bigger role in the second act. Oh, they're so good. Oh, I don't know. No, this is where like my knowledge of like hip hop and the rap genre gets limited. I'm not sure if this kind of like I'm not sure if this kind of like battle-esque thing is actually more of a reference than I know it is. But I know later they have like congressional debates, I think, that become way more of like rap battles that are fun.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I'm going to
Yeah.
just give you all false information on what is the history of hip hop. I was going to tell you that Dr. Dre actually went to Africa himself to figure out how to make beats from drums.
And you already gave yourself away that that's a lie. Is that a lie? Yeah, that's a lie. Okay, cool.
Yeah, what an interesting piece this is. There is like literally so much I could talk about. I don't know if I want to even do like an analysis on this for my YouTube channel, but I wouldn't know what to.
All the cliches about Burr. God. Oh. I can't remember his name, but this guy is like a super famous Broadway singer. You might recognize him, but this is one of my favorite songs. I'm going to shut up now.
I doubt it.
Because it's so stupid.
I can just imagine just being there, listening to this, but then I can just hear you right next to me just humming.
Oh, here it is. There it is. He's so evil. I hate him.
It reminds me of Kate Nash, if that's her name.
Oh, Kate Nash, the singer?
Yeah, she had a song that's like that.
That checks out. Oh, and another thing that look at that spittle. He's so gross. God, I hate him.
You hate him?
Yeah. Can you tell I'm very anti-monarchy?
Oh, just his character?
Yeah. Just in general. Authoritarian rule I am innately against.
Oh. The more you know.
Yeah. Look at those dead eyes and that spit on his lip. He plays such a good King George.
Okay, that's who he is.
Uh-huh. It's like I said, it kind of like goes back into like making the story more accessible to the like the current audience. Like that's what Shakespeare does. Well, like doesn't do. Like there's just no way to really translate it into a way that like American audiences can really understand what was happening. And so like this kind of like abuse tactic like song, like it really gets across the kind of like vibe that the king was sending us, right?
What?
Like sing along, like the messages that he was
Oh.
sending. He was just like, yeah, it's just like, no, keep paying your taxes or else I'm gonna come over and kill you. Yeah.
And this is about the Boston Tea Party, right?
No, this is about the whole, like, he just sang about how the Boston Tea Party has just happened. But this is about the whole, like, American Revolution.
Interesting. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Because Hamilton was a part of it.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you know who the first American to die for their country is?
Oh, yes, it was that black guy. His name...
Oh, so they say it here.
In here?
Yeah.
Did you just hear it?
No. Did they? They already said it?
No. No, they didn't. I know it. I like read about it not too long ago. I don't know his name. What's his name? Do you?
Crispus Attucks.
Crispus Attucks. I remember reading about him in school, and I had a reminder about this like a couple weeks ago on Pinterest.
Pinterest. I love Pinterest.
Crispus Attucks. Washington!
Which one is Washington?
Hold on, here he comes. Mm-hmm.
You said, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What? What?
I'm like remembering my roommate, Amani. This is her favorite. Like, Washington's her favorite character in the entire show.
No.
Yeah, so now we're in like the middle of the battle.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, I think in case you couldn't tell.
And that's supposed to be George Washington?
Yeah. How do you feel?
I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't know. Maybe it's... I don't know. I want to articulate myself to make sure I don't come off as an idiot.
No.
I think it's... Well, let me listen to this part. Maybe it's something interesting.
That's not historically accurate, but whatever.
Like, none of this is.
It is. It is. But him and Burr meeting as many times as they have at this point, less historically accurate. See, I told you you'd focus through these songs.
I literally don't know what anyone is saying.
Really?
No, I'm just trying to. The whole time, I'm just like focusing, trying to just figure out why is this happening? Like, why this story?
You know, I'm pretty sure that Miranda said that, like, I mentioned it before, that he wanted to give the American Revolution back to the immigrants that really started it, because Hamilton is an immigrant from the Caribbean. And, like, America, it was especially, like, right around the 2016 election, when, like, racism and immigration was really, oh, this is a good part, when it was hot button issue, like, this really catapulted into popularity, I think, because people really wanted to support, I think I want to say Black stories, but that goes back to your other question about like Black stories, and like, is this one of those,
Oh, you see, even then, this is like overload for my brain of just so many talking points.
Yeah.
Wanting to support Black stories. Interesting. That is actually hilarious.
And what?
So you're saying people...
Well, I mean, I think there was definite push to diversify storytelling. Like, I've seen that in the publishing industry and like in theater, like people really trying to like quit making things so like white centric. And what's interesting about this one is, like, yes, it was a traditionally white story that's now being portrayed by like such a diverse cast in like a totally different way than it has before.
Okay.
I guess that's what I meant. It's not like, I wouldn't call this a Black story, especially like Lynn's not Black. I know he's taken from a lot of like traditionally Black mediums like rap and hip hop, but like, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by this song because it's like the sweetest thing ever. She's, and also, this isn't really too much of a spoiler, but like Eliza, the way that Lin-Manuel Miranda has actually described the show is that the show is actually about Eliza.
Which is her?
Yeah.
Okay. So she won't get killed off later, or at least not Act 1.
I mean, it hasn't already been dropped that she gets shot, But she has like at least one, like in the second act, there's like one part that rips me apart. But I don't know if anybody's ever cried on your podcast, but I might do it.
Well, what? Tears of joy of listening to her sing?
No. I love Peggy so much.
Oh, thank God, as performers, I can't even see the crowd. It'd be way too distracting.
Yeah, I wonder if they like. I heard people clapping at the beginning. I wonder if they actually did do it before a live crowd. I feel like they wouldn't have. And I feel like this is an okay point to drop this. It'll whatever. But
Go for
like
it.
at one point they do make a big point about Hamilton trying to fight back against slavery. And there's I looked it up because I wasn't sure back when I first heard it, but he actually like Eliza's family did own slaves, which is the only that's sort of like the connection back where it's like, was he really supportive of like ending slavery or not when his family did own slaves? And so whereas they said that Hamilton himself was never a slave owner, like Eliza and her family were. So it's kind of like it's a little wishy-washy on whether or not he was as good of a guy as they say in this show.
Well, no one's ever is what you perceive them to be.
Mm-hmm. And I think Angelica's song is next, and it's my second favorite in the entire show.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I need to start writing some stuff down so I can have talking points. It's just so much going through my mind right now.
Yeah, definitely write it down, my dude. Yep. She's so good. To the bride. Introduction of a running theme.
What is the theme again?
May you always be satisfied.
May you always be satisfied. Okay. I'm so lost.
We're rewinding to the night that she first met him.
Hamilton?
Yeah. Here you go. Mm-hmm.
No, I feel like, Darby, I feel like you should be one of those navigational systems. Like just a voice, and you have your own custom of what would you say about going left and right. I feel like that would be amazing.
Oh my god! Every time you make a right turn or the correct turn, I'm just like, keep going.
I feel like if if I'm about to make a left in 600 feet, you would be like, All right, get ready to turn left. I'll tell you when. But before I do that, let me tell you about this one time.
This one time that I turned left, oh, it was wild. I'm trying to remember. This is where my trivia is lacking. I used to know so much more, but I want to say it's between her and the guy that plays Lafayette, as having like the fastest lyrics in the whole show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And also, she's a really, really big Broadway actress. I'm pretty sure she was in Rent.
Hey, I know that one.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure she was.
Wait, like the movie?
No,
Okay.
the show. The show that was on Broadway for years.
Yeah, I know. I remember that it was a play, but I think I remember that the movie used to come on the movie channel a lot.
Mm-hmm. I do love that movie.
She clearly needs to meet new people.
Yeah. She, again, if we're talking about historical accuracy, like, it's kind of questionable whether or not.
And that's supposed to be her sister, right?
Yeah.
I don't see how people can do that. Like whenever
be in love with their.
Yeah, like whenever my brother likes somebody, immediately that person is just a complete turnoff to me.
Yeah. Well, the whole idea here that they like really emphasized in this song is that she met him first and then brought him over to Eliza. And like you might have missed it, but like in her breakdown of everything, she names all these different reasons why she can't be with Hamilton.
Oh.
Because she has to she's the eldest sister, she has to bring money into the family, she has to like do the proper thing, and like also she loves her sister, and her sister called dibs first.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how far forward is this supposed to go in history throughout the entire play?
I want to say it's because his son is about to be born, and then his son comes into it later, and I think he's like 18. So I think it's like a couple years here in the Revolution, and then about like 20 years afterwards. I think 20 to 30 years, because you do get to the end of Hamilton's life, and he's past middle age by the time that he dies.
Okay, cool. So it's no Civil War stuff. This is like pre-Civil War.
Oh no. Oh yeah. He didn't live to the Civil War. Yeah. And that guy on the left that's singing, he's the lead in the new Lin-Manuel Miranda movie Into the Heights. Yeah. I remember hearing an early critique of In the Heights that it's essentially got like the same beats and songs as Hamilton. But I haven't seen it, so I can't say shit.
And that's out now? I'm so out of the loop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How are you out of the loop? Literally, that's actually a film. It's not even like a stage play.
I know, but I sometimes take pride in myself that I live under a rock.
Yeah, you will. Oh, this is also such a sweet song.
Notice how Darby says that after every song.
I know. It's just these songs do mean so much to me. Like I learned Theodosia is such a good name. But like this album really did come out at a time like shoot, I'm gonna have to look it up. But like when did Hamilton?
You mean when the play came out or this movie?
No, when the cast recording came out on Spotify, it was 2015. And it was like leading right into that 2016 election. And like, I don't know, I was in college, I was politically active. I had a group of friends that also really dug this. Like there's so many good memories I have around this and like it was really inspiring at the time. Like
right.
Like yeah, it did mean a lot. And like as the years have gone, like I've gotten to look back on it and be really reflective about like what it's done, what it's meant to people. I've read a lot about what people think about it, like, and like, it does mean a lot to people. But the audience, I've gotten the impression that the audience that it really wanted to reach, like a more diverse audience, like this is just, I've heard critiques rather that like this is more feeding into the white audience and making things more palatable. And that was a little hard to read and tried and like has affected the way I feel about it. But then I like sit here and listen to these songs, like especially this one, like Leslie Odom Jr. is just such a brilliant singer. And like it just yeah, it reminds me of of those like original days that this stuff really did mean so much. Where like me and my little like political group of friends just like sang these songs and thought that we could really affect some change, especially when we were faced with somebody like Trump in office.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's just kind of interesting. It's all these like complicated feelings.
No, I can understand that. 100%.
That's interesting. So yeah, I have all these feelings.
Keep them to yourself. No, I'm joking.
Jeez. I thought the podcast was something different than that there, Carlin. Come on.
Not today. No, I'm joking. But I can 100% understand how you feel about that. Yeah. I think for a lot of media, you know, depending on what it is, a lot of it truly affects you, especially of what's happening in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And just how the world is.
Mm-hmm. It's a really timely show to have come out when it was.
That is an understatement.
That's why I'm also so interested to hear kind of like your bigger thoughts about it, you know?
There's definitely going to be some thoughts.
God, these actors, man. Like, these dancers are so strong.
It's a red coat.
Mm-hmm.
So... it's so interesting. So we're like 47 minutes into this.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to figure out what about this play makes it hip hop.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you don't have to answer it. That wasn't like a question to be answered. I guess that's what I'm just trying to figure out. The person that
I would ask, you know, maybe one day I can come back and give you a better answer. I have a friend who's really into hip hop. He does like a whole song of the day thing, and a lot of them are hip hop, and he talks about it all the time. But he hasn't seen Hamilton yet, but he's got tickets. And so so like I feel like the person that I would go to like for reference for that, Jonah, I think it he wouldn't have an answer yet. But I'll come back. I'll let you know. But maybe Act 2. Act 2 might be a little bit more that speed.
We'll see.
And this is where we establish the rules of duels.
You mean like the battle rap you're talking about?
Nah, this is different. This is foreshadowing. This is one of 3 duels that happens in the show. And this moment especially, very foreshadowy. Here we go. So cheesy now that I'm looking at it.
There's reckoning to be reckoned.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's so much. I can't even stop saying that.
Pluck one thought from your head. What are you thinking?
No, I can't say it now. We are so gonna go over my thoughts in Act 2 when we watch Act 2, because right now I just feel that I felt like the first 30 minutes I just have all these emotions of what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, all this. And then now I'm just trying to just make sure whatever I'm feeling can just be said the correct way without, sounding like...
Oh, God. You're much better than me. I'm over here just trying to, like, right. vomiting on the microphone.
Right, and just kind of... I don't know, like, just kind of... Like, just have analogies and examples of whatever I'm feeling to make sure it's kind of... I don't know, politically correct or something. I don't know. I'm getting there.
Meet him inside. Meet him inside. Meet him inside. Washington, he just gets so intense. I have goosebumps.
George Washington.
I don't know. There's just like that thick voice.
It still throws me off. I'm like, that's George Washington?
Mm-hmm. And look, she's pregnant.
She is?
This is the reminder that there's more to live for.
Oh, is she wearing like a thing under there?
No, she's actually pregnant. She just got pregnant in the last 20 minutes and grown that much.
Wait, has she grown? I'm confused now because I've literally not noticed anything. Maybe that's just really bad for me as a guy.
No, yes, she's stuffed a pillow under there. She is playing pregnant right now.
Wow.
That's a different dress than she was wearing.
Jesus Christ.
And he's sitting over here going, I don't have any money.
If I literally, if her and I were dating at this exact moment, she definitely would have dumped me. She would have been like, well, and I'm like, it's okay if you gain weight. It's fine. Like, no, you idiot. It's your child.
But she loves you. She's such a good lady. It's your narrative, Eliza.
You said, what's your narrative?
No, I said it's her narrative.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know how much about history you know, but he really does her dirty in the second act.
Oh, I bet. I would expect nothing more. or nothing less. Nothing less. I believe that's the right thing to say. Oh,
I think so. Wow, wow, wow. This is Guns and Ships.
and who is he supposed to be?
He's supposed to be Aaron Burr.
You said Bill
Aaron
Burr?
Burr,
No, I'm joking. No.
Aaron. No, Aaron Burr, I think he's the second. Yeah, I think he's the second vice president. So I do know a little bit of trivia about this one. Apparently this guy was such a fast rapper that Lin-Manuel Miranda was like writing all of this stuff and just like kept adding words, and he just kept being able to do them. So he just added more and more and more lyrics to it.
That's funny you say that.
Why?
I mean, yeah, he's rapping pretty fast, but that's like...
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, that's like a 4. In terms of like the fast rappers that are out, like I know you probably don't know these names, like Joyner Lucas and Logic, Twista, like that's like a 4 compared with what those other people can do. Which I'm saying is
That's
way
fair.
more impressive what I can do.
Yeah. I guess you still have to like make sure that like your standard audience can at least begin to be able to understand what's being said.
Of course.
Because like I was in speech and debate too, and like the debaters would do this thing called spreading, where they would just like read pages of stuff in like seconds. It was wild, but I was never very good at understanding it.
And when they do that,
but some people could.
I was fast asleep in seconds.
No, I just doodled in the background. I wasn't a debater. I was a speech kid. Oh, Washington. I like how you're laughing at the death line.
No, I'm not laughing at that. I'm just laughing at this play.
You saw what I mean about how like literally there is no non-singing talking.
Yeah. So this is one of those continuous things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? This would be better if they weren't singing. No, I'm completely
You
joking.
think? Who lives, who dies, who tells your story? Introduction of a running theme.
Ah.
I do love, like, the theater company that I work with is movement. It's like a movement based company. So like these big ensemble moments of just like everybody coming out, like all these dance numbers just get me going. I love it. They're distracting, of course, but mm-hmm. That had a weird little country accent to it.
Why? Because of the guitar?
No, till the world turns upside down.
Oh.
That got me. Woo!
This is all so interesting. I'm trying to write down as many plot points as I can.
I'm wondering, you're very quiet.
I know. I'm normally not this quiet during like any of like the podcasts. It's just like it's so hard for me to even speak because there's just so much. There's just so much I'm feeling, so much to say, but not.
I told
but
you.
can't
I
say
told
it.
you.
Or not like I can't say it. I have. I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
You're listening. You're figuring out what's happening next.
I shit you not. I don't think I focused on any dialogue throughout this entire play. I can't tell you who these characters are. I can't tell you where they are. Somewhere in America.
I mean, yeah. They're in indefinable America. But I believe we won the revolution.
Oh, did we? I mean,
just in case. You said you were ignoring the dialogue, so I was just letting you know what was happening.
I just don't like. Just be happy they're singing it. Imagine sometimes how I like to watch movies, depending on what. Sometimes I just watch it with no sound, just to see if the visuals are right and if I can still understand a gist of a story of what it's trying to say. And then sometimes I won't even look at it and I'll just listen to it if it'll have certain sounds that are engaging, or certain phrases or dialogues that will, just it ties in, and it's kind of visually you can know what's happening audio wise.
Yeah.
I feel like,
and
if you were to watch this mute, you will be 100% lost.
Oh yeah. Well, so many people were introduced to this through the soundtrack. So getting visuals to go along with the soundtrack is pretty crazy to think about. Hello, King George.
I feel like, well, obviously it's probably just me, but if you were to listen to this first, and I'm huge on radio, all I do is listen to 1940s detective radio shows.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So if you were to just listen,
did you miss that? You just missed it. He said, "I feel blue," and the light turned blue. But go on.
Okay. I feel like for people who listen to this first, the soundtrack first, you obviously have this imaginary vision of what these characters are doing, how they're dressed, all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like whatever when you watch it, just this performance, it has to be 20,000 times less of a vision than what you first thought it was.
I don't know, because they have they surprise you a little bit with some stuff, right? I never imagined the ensemble of all these people in random corsets and white pants running around, or the turntable, or I don't know, some of these characters are pretty hot, so I'm I'm also not super sad about that.
Well, that's how they make it marketable. I have a speech in Parliament. See, now I can't even say anything anymore.
No, that's okay. This is a safe space. Don't worry. I used to work with kids with various different speech impediments, as well as reading disabilities. Safe space, Carlin. Safe space.
Thank you for comparing me to a child. I feel safe.
Oh, God. It's not what I meant. I should rather say, I just understand what goes on with all of that.
What, all of what?
With speech impediments and dyslexia and various other things.
Wait, I said I just had a speech impediment. You saying I'm dyslexic too?
No, I am not. Various things. There's so many things that are wrong with people. I won't even get into mine. Mine's the list. I'm just gonna shut up now. I'm just gonna shut up.
Okay. I know. To really gather an analysis of what I'm watching, I'm gonna listen to the rest of that last Starfighter musical, because I didn't finish it. I was there's three songs left on it.
Yeah, definitely listening to something all the way through helps. All of this leads up to stuff that happens in the second act that you earn by going through all of this. This one is really sweet. As somebody that wants to be a mother one day, this song really touches me.
Oh, you said the son on here touches you?
No, them singing about their babies, right? Because they both just had kids. Aaron Burr's daughter, Theodosia, and Hamilton's son, Philip. So they're singing about how they want this new country that they're building to be safe and sound for them.
Ah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is so interesting. I can't stop saying that.
I mean, he takes the dramatic bits and extra over dramatizes them, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course that. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. It's theater.
It's theater. I used to have that
Oh.
kind of running joke in college whenever I used to always act in my friends, like various different friends' film projects. They're like, Carlin, can you act in our film? Of course I can, because I'm a thespian actor.
You sound like a thespian.
I am a thespian.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is he pretending to be the son?
No, this is John. I think it's John. Oh God, what's his last name? John something. He died.
Snow?
Yes,
Heyo.
Jon Snow. So yeah, he died.
Who died?
Is that a serious question?
What is this? What is this play?
History, Carlin. It's history.
It's all just
in
audio. It's like they're just saying it, and they don't show you anything.
Yes. Yes, correct.
I don't know. I've only seen one movie, and I was actually thinking about this movie a few days ago. I've only seen one movie where the entirety of the movie is just two guys sitting in a motel room, one sitting on a bed, other one just leaning against the wall, and they just talk throughout the entire movie, just back and forth shots at their heads.
Was it good?
And it was the most engaging, suspenseful thing ever.
Wow. Who are the actors?
One was Ethan Hawke, and then the other one was some other guy. and then a third. It was only three actors: Ethan Hawke, some other guy, and Uma Thurman, who came in towards the end.
Aren't they married?
Are they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are.
I'll check. Uma Thurman. They were. They got divorced in 2005.
Gotcha. I knew they had a daughter together.
Oh, yeah, Maya Hawke. Whoa.
Oh, do you hear this?
Who picked this photo for her Wikipedia? Like, holy crap.
Have you lost track of what's going on in the show now?
I kind of gave up on it. I'm trying to figure out gave up on trying to figure out what's happening. But I'm still watching it. I'm still trying to fathom on how this is hip hop.
I don't know. It's not like standard hip hop, right?
What? Okay. That is all right. I'm gonna write that one down. That's another great talking point.
Oh God. Well, just so you know what's happening. So, Hamilton's over here trying to push a U.S. Constitution. Yeah, because we don't have a Constitution yet.
Oh yeah, during this time.
Yeah. So now they're like trying to figure out how the nation's going to work. And they do say that Aaron Burr was actually like a political genius for like how patient he was. Now, to quote an old friend of mine, Emily, that is the grossest line in the entire show, and I cannot unhear her voice saying it.
What line?
Watching the afterbirth of a nation.
The afterbirth of a nation. I can see that. I remember in Hell class in 7th grade, they showed some video about a woman giving birth, and we saw all of that. I was like, never again. Never.
See, like, sure, like those are something, but then you see the random video of like a woman giving birth in a parking lot, like super fast, because
What?
it's just happening, and I'm like, yeah, that's like a meme, or not a meme, like a video I saw like 2 weeks ago, and
What?
I just couldn't stop watching it. Like it's not an up close video. It's like a security camera video of like her like walking, and then all of a sudden her knees shake, and then a baby falls out, and it's like, what the heck?
Okay. What are you talking about? That clearly
I don't know.
wasn't
Birth
real.
birth is just weird. No, it was.
So there was like
That happens.
So there was like an umbilical cord.
Yes, there was indeed. I'll find it.
No,
and
I'm
send
not
it to you.
watching it.
We're watching a movie. There's only like 2 more minutes of this act.
Okay. Which, by the way, I think it's so cool that you're gonna go play D&D. I've like always been so interested to play that, and just never had the opportunity.
Dude, that's you. Excuse me. That was not a real sneeze. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm playing a gnome cleric. I'm very excited about this one. And this is where Hamilton gets his power.
Power?
Yeah.
You mean the Affinity Gauntlet?
Yep. Of the treasury, all the jewels. These women know you, Hamilton.
I don't understand. Why are they asking him if he's never going to be satisfied?
Well, for one, they're being a little limiting, and like Eliza's trying to get him to stay home or for whatever reason. But it's a lot of foreshadowing about all of the second act.
So interesting.
Boom.
All right, I guess that's the first act, huh?
So what'd you think?
I don't know yet. I still want to just hold my and then for the listeners too, because I love to be like realistic about it. We took like a 2-day break.
We did.
A complete 2-day break.
Yeah, I had to go play D&D. Sorry, everyone.
That took 2 days.
I was gone on my mission for that long, but yeah. So you've had some time to process that one before we get into Act 2, which
that's
admittedly
true.
is, yeah. This is the actual one. Actually, like I feel like I prefer this act, so I'm excited.
I've even because the other day I recorded a Nightmare on Elm Street podcast episode. Their original one, and I watched it with some friends, and I even asked them about Hamilton, if they've seen it, if they know what it is. They said they'd never seen it.
Ooh.
So I showed it to them.
Wait, did you watch it?
No,
the whole thing.
No, I just showed them the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
Just the first 10 minutes.
Okay. What'd they say?
Their thoughts are pretty much the same as mine, but I'm still waiting to digest everything before I make something, because there's a whole nother act, right? There's 2 acts or 3?
Yep. 2.
Okay.
Yeah. But now you're about to meet Daveed Diggs is Thomas Jefferson. So you must pay attention for a moment.
Thomas Jefferson?
Yeah.
He's the guy in the $20 bill.
Yes? Oh, God. No.
He's not?
Andrew Jackson is on the $20
Who
bill.
cares?
I know.
All I care about is
Hopefully
Maya Angelou. She's on the quarter now.
Yeah. And Harriet Tubman is, I think they're talking about getting her on the 20.
I remember when I went to Japan, because they also put historical people under their money and whatnot. They had a 20-year-old girl on there who's a very famous poet, and
Ooh,
she didn't.
love
Yeah,
that.
she didn't live very long. She only lived up to be in her 20s. So I'm like, wow, the things she must have done, the things she must have written, must have been super profound to be acknowledged at that age.
Yeah. Now I want to go, I don't know, I want to go read her poetry.
Yeah. I have no idea who it was. I forgot. Well, I'm sure it's easy to look up, but
Yeah. Oh, and I'm going to point this out because whatever. So I don't know if you just heard that line, but he just asked Sally. Do you know who he's referencing there?
no.
Oh gosh, why can't I remember her last name? I'm googling it. Jefferson, Sally Hemings. She was the slave that he had a relationship with.
I'm
An
willing to bet
enslaved
all these
person.
forefathers have relationships with their slaves.
Yep. And that's Madison, by the way.
Madison.
Something Madison. James Madison. He helped write some stuff.
Stuff.
James
So he's no
Madison.
important than what I am. Because I hope somebody
He's one
wrote
of the
something.
founding fathers. Oh god, I'm terrible at this. He's best known for his major contribution to the ratification of the Constitution by writing the Federalist Papers.
So we can blame him for that.
Him, yeah, yeah. Madison wrote them with Alexander Hamilton and John Jay.
That's right. That's who Alexander Hamilton is. He did that
Mm-hmm.
Constitution, right?
Yeah. So he like really went to fight for the Constitution, and like they did all of the papers or whatever to like fight for it.
That's so interesting. This all relates
Yeah.
to the better than chocolate movie.
Does it?
Because like I was telling you before we before we started recording for a second time, that certain people of high authority, whether if it's organizations or just individuals, they won't allow anything to pass unless a status quo of what they feel society should be in their eyes, or what am I trying to say? They won't let anything exist unless it still fits their idea of what a society should be viewed as. So even though the Constitution was written by Alexander and whoever else, I remember it saying that they still viewed blacks and other minorities as 3/4 or 1/4 of a man than everyone else. So I still find that so interesting.
Yeah. It's like the contradictions they had. And there's some cool like there's some like cool rap references in here.
Okay.
This is the cabinet meeting. This is the duel I was telling you about before.
Okay. I'm going to listen to this then.
I do love David Diggs.
Why do I feel like this is how it actually went down?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is all very interesting.
You've been saying
I
that
know, I've been
a
saying
few
that
times.
so much. So much. I need to find another word.
Why he even brings a thunder. God. Oh yeah. So that's the cabinet meeting.
Hmm.
This, and this is where it gets all like political intriguey, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, instead of like war and marriage and youth. Now the idea is that they're getting older. Voila. You know, usually I hate like filming of theater because it's just like it goes against everything I believe about theater
Okay.
in a way. In a way, because it's not meant to be viewed this way. But also this moment, it comes back around. Ugh.
I feel like what you said is 100% true because I feel like none of this should be viewed.
How do you really feel about it, Carlin?
I'm still thinking. I'm still thinking. I need to get through this act.
And I did read at one point that this is probably an exaggerated kind of deal between him and Angelica. But, you know, anything for the drama.
I think I believe that all history is exaggerated to a certain point.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much about history, like even just reading journals or things like that you're not going to understand because you're not there.
Right. Here's just like two really good quotes from a video game I played that's like all about history and
Mm-hmm.
and about different countries and whatnot. So the first quote talks about it says if you read the news, you're misinformed. But if you don't read the news, then you're not informed at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then that kind of coincides with the definition of what they think history is history a is when two people or a group of people finally decide on what they believe happened.
Yeah. Yeah. History is what they believe happened. Is that what you said?
It's what they agreed
Oh,
what they
agreed
can all
happened.
come to an agreement on that it happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's why they say so much that like history is written by the winners, you know?
Yeah, that too.
They're the ones that can yeah, it has like they have the most power at least in like getting people to agree with them.
It's that, and it's the reason why history is changing so much today that happened back then. For example, like the whole I remember when I was in elementary school, and I remember
Mhm.
teachers and whatnot, people just talking about Christopher Columbus as if he's some hero. And then now, when I was
Ugh.
in college, now we're taught that we should never champion this individual.
Yeah. It's wild cuz like when I was a kid, I remember bringing home a Christopher Columbus project that I had to do for school and my dad saw
Yeah,
me working on it.
yeah.
And my dad's done like outdoor drama for a really long time and worked directly with a lot of tribes, and so he's pretty knowledgeable. Like he has that shirt that has like Homeland Security since like 1492 or whatever, and it's a bunch of Native Americans with guns,
Mm.
and so he saw what I was doing, asked me about it, and then wrote me a letter for my teacher, excusing me from doing the project, and then explaining that Christopher Columbus was in fact in charge of like genocide of so many people, and that he didn't want me participating in it.
That sounds amazing. I wish my parents would have done that.
Yeah, yeah. All right, are you totally lost about where we are in Hamilton right now?
I'm just along for the ride at this point.
All right. Well, to keep you updated for a moment, Hamilton is starting to be a workaholic. And Philippa Sue and I'm so mad I don't have these people's names memorized. Angelica and Hamilton, actress. Renee Elise Goldsberry. Philippa and Renee are sitting here singing beautifully to him, telling him that he needs to take a frickin' break and come and hang out with these two beautiful women. But he's like,
wait,
I
what?
have to work. Yeah.
Aren't they sisters?
Yes.
Oh, but that's what it's that's what it's saying.
Yes. Yeah. In a nutshell, he's like, they're like, hey, come and chill with us. And he's like, no, I must work and write and be the brilliant human that I think I am.
And chill, we mean like Netflix and chill, right?
I know, I mean like take a break.
No, okay, wait. So now you're confusing. Why you made it sound like they're both telling him, and the way they were both holding him just now, they're like, "Hey, take a break. We can ease your mind." So I'm like, "Oh, but they're sisters. How does that work?" And you're telling me no, it means an actual break.
Yes, an actual break.
Oh.
But okay, now we got some juicy stuff coming on. You see this lady in the red dress?
Yeah.
Here we go. I do like this tonal change.
Yeah, I like how the props are moving to simulate that they're walking a long distance. Well,
Yeah.
but that's only, I feel like that can only be seen though through the camera, through the eyes of the camera, and how close it was.
That they were walking?
Yeah, so if it was like if it's a medium
Wow.
close up, and just seeing her walk past light post after light post, it really felt like she was walking a long distance.
Well, that's kind of the funny thing. So I've actually gotten to see Hamilton like in person, like on stage, and like they still have this turntable. Like so the floor there is the thing like moving all of those light posts that makes her look like she's walking. Like the set is absolutely amazing on this, and just yeah, that impression was definitely given even in person.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, the set is impressive,
Yeah.
and I would love just to see the ceiling, just to see how the lights are hung up there. Because there's
Yeah.
been a handful of films I've been a part of where we come in like a day early or whatever, and we literally just rig pipes all across people's homes and the ceilings, and then we start hanging the wires up and then lights and whatnot, like it's an actual studio.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've seen many a rig, many a fly zone, or oh my god, I'm terrible with words today. I should definitely be on your podcast when I know so many words.
Fly zone.
It's not a fly zone. Oh
Isn't
god,
that when
don't quote
someone's
me.
zippers open?
All right, pay attention to the show for a minute. I'm gonna research some stuff.
So
Grid, the fly. I was right. The fly tower and the grid.
that was literally the opposite of what you said.
It's something. It's something. Oh, did you see that? It was a callback to Eliza's like helpless song. Oh, the writing is fun. The writing is fun. I will say that.
So,
but you were saying something.
So I'm guessing that he's started this relationship, this kind of like infidelity relationship with this girl in the red, and this other black guy who I'm guessing is not a black guy comes across, and he's gonna blackmail him.
He is blackmailing him, and he's the husband of the woman in red.
Oh, so it's a setup.
Yeah. Well, who knows? I don't know.
It's a setup.
They don't imply it. Yeah, probably.
We should have them executed.
It's a new nation. They can't do that.
What?
Mm-hmm. Ugh, there's something so heartbreaking the first time I heard that.
It's funny when this happened to Kevin Hart. No one thought it was heartbreaking, right? The two women
Uh,
extorted him.
I didn't.
He called the FBI
I,
on them.
I don't remember that, but damn. I was laughing at the pun of heartbreaking. Sleaze. I know this song went pretty freaking viral. I mean, the whole album did, but
Yeah, I bet.
I remember seeing a lot of stuff.
By the way, are you still using Skull Candy headphones?
Oh God,
I was
yeah.
still, I was thinking about that today. I'm like, I bet she's still using them.
What? Are you judging me?
No.
Are you judging me?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they're better than my Bose headphones that have a buzz in one side. So
Mm.
you know what? I don't feel bad. However, I do feel bad for these women in these terrible corsets with like the stabby things directly like over their pubic bone.
Mm.
It's like a womb knife.
I bet. Yeah. Bet that's
But yeah,
uncomfortable.
look at it. Look at it. And white tights. Why would they do that to them? What's your opinion on how this was actually like shot though?
Like how it's
Like
produced?
yeah, like what's your film expert opinion on like I don't know. Are
Um
the lights pleasing for you? Are these angles good? Like I don't really think about that stuff as much.
okay. Yeah, so as for just like live performance recording, because I've done a few of that in
Yeah.
my time. Um
Yeah.
I mean, whenever you're backed up by Disney or any of these plays, you're always going to have people that know what they're doing and have been doing it for
Mhm.
decades. And
Mhm.
I don't know Lin Manuel's history as well, but I'm sure his playwriting and his experience working in theater uh, is tremendously. Uh, he's tremendously wise in it, along with
I know that he had go on,
no,
go
I
on,
was
go
gonna
on,
say
go on.
along with the whoever directed this in
Mhm.
terms of direction as in the theater and direction as in just the cameras and the
Mhm.
lighting director and then whoever choreographed everything. Like all these people are so knowledgeable in their craft that I don't you're hardly gonna find anything wrong with the production side of it unless
Yeah.
it is a uh I don't unless it's just a what am I trying to say? Something that you just personally just don't like,
Yeah.
right? And then of course it's just something you just not your taste either.
Yeah. Man,
I don't know what it
I
is
do.
about. Oh, sorry. What are you
Hmm.
gonna say?
No, I love Leslie Odom Jr. But go on.
I was gonna say. Wait, who's that?
This this guy,
Oh, okay.
Aaron Burr.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how this production of Hamilton is saying so much, having so much music, and literally
Hmm.
it's going through one ear and going out through the next.
Where you're just not following.
I mean, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I just kind of wonder, just kind of like a weird meta question on this podcast, like if doing the podcast sometimes makes it like harder for you to actually watch and like judge the movies because you're kind of like focused on what you're going to say throughout it, you know?
No, I mean, if anything, it's just a different vibe when watching a movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of
Yeah, that's
people
fair.
wouldn't like Pitch Perfect if they went to go see that alone.
Yeah.
Same thing with a lot of these blockbuster movies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just a different experience, and
Yeah.
I'm sure I probably maybe I wouldn't have the opinions and views that I have of this Hamilton production, which we're gonna get into soon. If I wasn't gonna watch them with you, because even today
Yeah.
I was so excited to finish this podcast with you because I was thinking there is nobody on this planet that I would want to watch this movie with or finish this movie with than Darby herself.
I don't know what I have done, Carlin, and I don't know if this one is worth it.
The stars have literally aligned for someone
For
as yourself who is so well versed in theater, who grew up in a theater background,
yeah.
and who absolutely is so emotionally attached to this production. The
Yeah.
fact that we've met and now you're on this podcast and we can talk about this movie and about how I feel about it,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to hear like your whole deal.
I'm excited too.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, oh, but here's the rest of the cabinet meeting. There's some good stuff coming up.
He kind of sounded like that guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Charlie?
Yes.
I do love I do love it. But since it's going in one ear and out the other, what I can summarize there is that essentially Hamilton is saying that like they shouldn't interfere with like the French Revolution, which Lafayette, his friend from Act 1, yeah,
He has a friend.
his yes, his friend Lafayette is asking them for help, and now Hamilton is like, no. Yeah. Brings up like I don't know, in a weird way it brings up how difficult these kinds of like bigger government decisions are.
Right.
Yeah. Whew.
He reminds me of one of my mentors in film. The guy,
David Diggs?
the yeah, the black guy with the big hair.
Jefferson, yeah.
Yeah, he reminds me of my friend Alex. Because Alex literally looks
Hmm.
like that. Beard, big hair.
I don't know. I think David Diggs is probably like besides like Philippa Sue and Renee Elise Goldsberry, I think he might be like my favorite actor on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
Like his rapper name is Clipping. I've listened to a bunch of his stuff. It's a lot of fun. I like it.
Interesting. So you listened to it because of this production.
Yeah. Yeah, I found him through this.
That's very interesting.
I don't know.
Do
Yeah.
you find yourself normally searching for rappers, or was it just in this instance?
I have a lot of like I go off a lot of recommendations from my friends, and recently, yeah, have like I don't know, I've had a lot of recommendations for like different rap and hip hop from my buddy, and so I'm like I'm reaching out.
Okay, cool. So never on your own
Yeah, like the
intent
past
though.
couple. Actually, no, on my own. On my own, yeah. Like I was a Missy Elliott stan. Um,
Who wasn't?
I don't know, and yeah, and like yeah, I don't know. I'm weird with music. I collect it from my friends and they all it like in a weird way it's terrible because like now every song reminds me of somebody. And so if I ever have a falling out it sucks. Frickin' sucks.
Yeah, but that's the
But
beauty of it.
yeah. Ah, just like the beats these guys have together. I don't know. This it's lyrical in a fun way.
I can see that.
Mhm.
Did you like Pitch Perfect? Did you ever see those movies?
I liked it, but I kind of raged against it because it was obviously aimed at like the audience it was aiming for was me.
No.
I was like the teenage slash early 20s type that they like female that they were looking for.
Mm,
Like Anna Kendrick's great. Yes, I enjoyed the
I
first
love
one,
Andy
but did I
Kendrick.
see the other? Yeah, did I see the other ones? No.
Yeah, I watched the first one and the second one for the podcast.
Yeah.
First one, I didn't.
What was your verdict?
First one, I didn't understand how it became what it is.
I think musicals actually have an uncanny power to like create earworms that get into people's minds and stick there, you know? Like that cup song that she did. Oh my god. Everyone knew that like, you know,
Right.
freaking song. I don't
I
know.
also think it's just like the ultimate hangout movie.
Yeah.
I,
I
f-
could see that.
I feel like a lot of people, because even after I watched it, I was again, I was asking people a lot of questions, and I was asking them, did you see the movie in theaters, and if you did you go alone?
Mm.
And everyone told me they went to go see it with people,
Mhm.
and
I think
I don't think it was
yeah,
the
go on.
movie itself was the experience that was good. It was just with the people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the communal aspect of going to the movie, especially a musical. I don't know. I think the only movie I ever brought myself to alone was The Greatest Showman, and it was because nobody else wanted to go.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, "Yo, it's about a circus. I'm a previous circus performer. I want to go see this thing." I did find out that they like didn't treat their circus performers super well though.
In the movie?
Which was sad to hear. Yeah, like during filming.
That's
Like,
not unheard of.
yeah, I don't know, when you do something like hang in the air, like, you know, doing an aerial silks routine like I used to, like, you can only hold it for so long safely, and they're trying to get them to stay up way past their, like, their actual threshold of, like, ability, and that just gets scary and terrible, so in the same way that, like, Hamilton kinda soured in my mind over some time, like, so did The Greatest Showman. It was a lot of fun on the front end when I saw it by myself, you know, but
Do
yeah.
you ever
What
go
do you
see movies by yourself besides that?
that was, like, the only one that in, like, recent memory, but, like, I'm not
Oh,
against it. It was right before the pandemic, and I was like, "I love this, I wanna do this more."
okay, yeah.
And then yeah,
Yeah, I see movies by myself all
yeah,
the time.
yeah. I mean, I watch a lot of movies at home by
Oh,
myself,
that's
but
different.
like I
That's a
don't
different
go.
experience when you go by yourself to a theater.
It's true. This is where it gets sad.
Really? Because of the violin that's playing?
Yes. It's because George Washington is so sad. Well, no, it's because he's leaving. They really try to go for the gut on this one. I don't know if they really succeed, though. It is really pretty, though, the actual, like, like, the phrasing and everything.
So what are they talking about? What makes it sad?
It's his goodbye address. He's stepping down.
Who is?
Washington.
Oh, thank God. Get the fuck out of office, dude.
Yeah.
This is like when a teacher at the end of it's like the last day of school, and the teacher's like sees the students in tears because it's the last day, and
Mhm.
she's like, "I know y'all are gonna miss me. Y'all are in tears." And then that one student leaving the classroom is like, "Yeah, tears of joy."
You take your mouth full of fake teeth, sir, and get out. But definitely, like, when I was watching this with my friend who loves him, like, and she's over there crying about it, I couldn't help but cry about it. Like,
About
I can't
this?
lie. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because this actor is her favorite. And so she was like, oh my God. Get that downlight.
So tell me,
Hmm.
is Lin Manuel clearly he wanted a diverse cast to play this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't care what. Okay, I guess what I'm trying to say is he didn't care, or at least I think he didn't care what race anybody was, as long as you can play the role correctly, right?
I think so.
Right. See,
Yeah.
this is where I'm like, okay, I think so. So now I'm thinking if the majority of these actors weren't black, would this still be a
Hmm.
hip hop thing? Or quote unquote trying to be a hip hop thing?
Yeah, I mean, I doubt it. I do know that when they like started doing the touring show or whatever it was, and they were auditioning for it, they essentially told like they were just like white people don't come out. Like we have like there are only like two roles meant for white people, and that's the president here and the guy Mr. Seabury at the beginning.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and they were just like, yeah, we don't need white people to come out for this. I remember that happening.
That's
But yeah,
freaking fantastic. This
yeah.
now this sums up everything that I'm thinking about of this film. That's
Hmm.
great. It reminds me of the 70s when they put out auditions for the movie or for the TV show Roots.
Yeah.
White people do not
We-
come out.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, like you're just like, yeah, yeah.
Sorry, it's
you're
like I will admit,
you're
like
like you're
listening
like
to you
Doc
talk, and
Rivers right now. I'm gonna send you that GIF. You're like Doc Rivers right now. You like came to a realization.
I'm sorry, it's just like that song happened. And I was trying, like, I heard everything you said, but then I like immediately clicked into what he was saying, and so I was like, my brain crossed wires.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. What the hell was that?
He really hates John Adams.
John Adams. They should have got Paul Giamatti to play him. I still haven't seen that HBO series.
The Paul Giamatti one?
Yeah,
I haven't either.
yeah, the one where he's John Adams.
Oh, yeah, I haven't either. I do remember when that happened. Whoop, this is where he gets caught. One of my favorite moments is coming up. Give me a minute. All right, here we go. That one. In the album, it's like, oh god, the first time that I ever heard it, I just remember laughing so hard at David Diggs's "What." I loved it. Yeah.
Was this the same cast from the soundtrack that you listened to in 2015?
Yeah, this is the original cast.
Oh.
Yeah. When I saw it on stage, I didn't see any of the original cast. It was the touring one that came to Atlanta at the Fox.
Did you boo them?
No,
Where's the
of course I
original
didn't boo
cast?
them. No, of course I didn't boo them. No, but all of these guys blew up as soon as that album did, really. Like Leslie Odom Jr. was like booking commercials left and right. I remember he was on a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh. And this is like my least favorite song in the whole thing, but whatever. But of course, it's him facing himself and his deal. And so the whole stage is going to reflect his inner turmoil.
Of what? Being extorted?
Yeah. Cheating on his wife. He brought this on himself.
Yes, he did. He very much did.
And what's interesting about like the film stuff that like you don't get to see, like in the Fox, for instance, like I was a couple seats back from the front row. So like I'm looking up at these guys. I can't see anything that's actually happening on this, like any lights that are hitting the stage, you know.
Mm.
And so like here you have the image of like essentially the hurricane on stage. Like there you can kind of see like the water and everything. And of course somebody in the balcony might see it. I don't know. So I'm a little torn. Like when you have something this well shot, like it's cool to see theater films like this. Like there's a Judy Taymor version of Midsummer's Night Dream that I got to see that was filmed, and that was really gorgeous. And so like this has those elements of that. This is a cool moment.
So, what's the best seats in the house in a theater production like this? Front, back, middle?
Usually like I prefer like back middle sort of, like 3/4 back, middle. I do like a good balcony seat. But my dad always preferred, at least in the theater that I grew up in, there were two theaters that I grew up in because my dad's a professor at Louisiana Tech University. And And I remember in Stone Theater, it's the smaller black box theater, we always sat, like, back house left, and I don't know what it was about back there, but you could just kinda see everything and see the audience reactions, and that was really worth it.
Hmm.
I don't know, because you know, theaters, it's very much that communal experience, and so, like, if the whole crowd is feeling it, it's like in a movie theater. I remember seeing, Inception with a really great crowd at the movie theater, and everybody yelled at the end with that twist, you know?
I was never into that
Like,
movie.
that was I was into it because the crowd was, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah. Alright, do you know what's happening now?
No,
It's important.
absolutely not.
So, Hamilton publishes a pamphlet essentially admitting to his affair. He
Say that
literally
again.
he publishes a pamphlet that admits that he had an affair with and names everybody.
Wait, everybody who's had an affair?
No, he names like Maria Reynolds and everybody. So now everybody knows what he's done.
Oh, so he had an affair with his sister too?
No.
Then what are you doing here?
She's here for the sister.
You don't have to be here for the sister.
She is. She was overseas.
Oh.
And she just like even overseas she got news about her sister or about Hamilton. But
That guy was like humping the air. Oh, that guy's humping the ground.
yeah. The gall of doing that is wild.
Now I want to watch the other stuff on Disney Plus, like the little 30-minute
Stuff about it.
yeah, it's like behind the scenes or like cast interviews, or maybe not the cast interviews. I just want to see Lin Manuel's interview specifically.
Yeah. For sure. Definitely watch those. Now, this song is my favorite in the entire show. Because remember, this show is about Eliza. Or sorry, it's about Eliza, not Angelica.
I can see you actually doing that in a theater. Like, pay attention. This is really important. It's about Angela. No, wait. Okay, not Angela. It's about...
Oh my god. The sad thing is you're kind of right. She starts so low. She starts so painful and hurt. And I'm like trying to think back on it. I guess Lin Manuel does some choreography and like the girls do too. But
They all
like
do.
Leslie Odom Jr. Yeah. Leslie Odom Jr. I was noticing this time seemed to have the most like intensive choreography, like during his like room where it happened moment.
Mm-hmm.
But this one's just emotional. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. As a writer, that one hits me.
Hmm. This reminds me of Hercules, that Disney animated movie Or
Oh,
when
you mean one of my favorite Disney movies of all time?
when
Yes.
what's her face? Magma or Mag
Megara.
Megara. When when she was singing "No Chance, No Way, I Won't Say I'm
No.
in Love."
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of that feel.
Such a good song.
This part. Yes, bestie. Man, the amount of times I've screamed that note in my car while crying, I can't even.
Really?
Oh my god, I can't even. Oh. But it's mainly because I wanted to learn the song. And it's a good one to like get out some emotions too.
All right. I mean, it says a lot. It says a lot about infidelity.
About yeah. Yeah, and how much it hurts people. Like fucking yeesh. And this is their son.
What?
This is Eliza and Hamilton's son. In case you didn't pick it up.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Of Latin dude, and then what's she? What's her ethnicity?
I know she's Asian of
Okay,
some kind. Is she Chinese?
so
I don't know if she's
Chinese
Chinese. Maybe.
and like a Mexican guy. It makes sense they would have a baby, and he'll come out Filipino
Yeah.
or something.
She is
Or I don't know.
she is indeed of half Chinese descent.
Oh, she's like half Chinese, half white.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I think. I think. I'm looking.
Oh, this is so interesting.
What part?
All of it. The casting.
But what made you say it that time?
That she's half white.
Oh. I'm looking. Yeah, her grandparents immigrated from China to the US.
That's cool.
Mhm.
You know where in the U.S.?
Libertyville. Well, she was born in Libertyville, Illinois.
Oh, okay. So wondering if it was like in New York.
Mm.
There's a crazy, crazy hidden history in America about Chinese immigrants coming to New York in the '80s and the
Hmm.
gangs that they started down there.
That's wild. I want to read about that.
Yeah, they're called the Green Dragons. They're doing the utmost wildest shit you can ever imagine.
I'm into that. All right. I'll look that up for later.
Yeah, they're all arrested or dead now, but one of the last ones that are alive, he's like scheduled for parole in the next few years.
Well,
I don't think he's
all
gonna
right.
get it, but
This is a big plot point.
okay, I'll be sure to ignore it.
Fucker cheated.
Who cheated? Oh,
He shot before 10.
cheating or okay. Here's the thing with that kind of stuff, though. Cheating or not,
I'm sorry.
I'm not getting
Yeah.
shot. So you best believe I'm not counting to 10.
That's not gentlemanly.
But at the same time, why are you in a gun battle?
This part, dude. This part, so many times has made me weep. God. So there's one thing, like you hear all of this in the album, right? On like on Spotify or
Mhm.
wherever you find your music if you don't want to deal with Spotify. So you hear this whole thing, you hear Philip Sue come in, but at the very end of the song there will be something that happens that isn't ever shown on or isn't included on the album. And oh, the first time I heard it, like the goosebumps and like the tears were so real.
Wow.
But okay, I'll let you enjoy him dying now.
Interesting.
Yeah, I got him again. It's that cry, dude. It's that scream. It's that like grief.
Mm-hmm. It's the same grief I
Yeah,
have whenever I'm at a restaurant, you've been there for a while, and you see the waitress coming up with food, but then they go
and
to a
it's
different
not your
table.
food. Thank you for taking my feelings and just squirting ketchup on
I
them.
have to.
My God. This big emotional moment happened. Yeah, I feel that whenever I don't get my food. Oh God. Yeah, this is where the whole thing just gets like it's like an emotional gut punch for like at least two songs. They even point it out here in a minute. It's kind of funny. But yeah, full circle here. The man finds God.
So is he still with his wife?
He's been sleeping in his office,
Oh.
but give it a second. He's just walking the city by himself, even though he has like two other kids. God, she's just so pretty.
Who, him? Oh, her, yeah.
Yeah, her. You know, Len doesn't have the strongest voice, but he's got the character, you know.
I guess. I was thinking the whole
Mm.
time, like, maybe someone else should have played his role.
Who directed? I think he did. No, Alex Lacamoire did.
I think this would have been an entirely different experience if they would just cast it differently.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel that it's casted this way for a reason. And it's not for the reason whatever Lin Manuel says.
What do you mean?
I think that obviously Lin Manuel put out this little casting call or whatever. Wants only black actors for these roles, and and then whatever else for the rest of the cast. But I don't think it was for the reason of diversity. Like, we need black performers so we can have more black people in theater doing well or whatever.
Hmm.
I think, and I'm just spitballing here because I don't know. It's just sometimes when you look at TV shows and movies and you see who the token black person is, token Asian person, all this stuff. It's very fascinating to always find them the same color tone. You know, it's never like dark, never kind of,
Hmm.
you know, it's always light skin. What I'm trying to say, it's always light skin.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
if these actors are casted for what they are, and these actors, all the actors on this production, I will say, are very talented,
Hmm.
and they're great at singing, and they're good at all this other stuff. But it's almost like too much of a coincidence for them to be casted with the way they look and the way they perform.
With the way that, like, what do you mean? Sorry, just because like a lot of them are more light skinned or not?
For an example, I feel, and this is going back to Better Than Chocolate.
Yeah.
People who are so-called the gatekeepers of letting a certain medium or letting certain films or productions through a certain medium.
Yeah.
If they're going to let Hamilton on Disney Plus and on this huge landscape, or maybe even be on this Broadway with these
Mhm.
characters, and these characters are supposed to be perceived as black, I feel like that is not a coincidence that majority of these black actors are light skinned.
Hmm.
It's the same thing on why Zen. I feel like it's going like a random tangent, but it's the same reason why you would see an actress like Zendaya who is crazy
Mhm.
talented, crazy beautiful, but
Mhm.
it's no question why she is so mainstream and being the color of her complexion.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, you definitely see that kind of colorism, like, yeah, across the world, and yeah, yeah. I see your point there. I see your point for sure. It's a good one.
But the point I'm making is it's a small percentage of what I'm really trying to say, and to the point where
Yeah.
maybe it's the same thing, but it's almost in a sense of, for example, do you listen to Drake?
Not really.
Okay, so I'm trying to find a really good
But what's your
example.
point about him?
uh, Same thing with Drake in terms of you would probably never hear about him or see him do the things he's done in his career
Mhm.
because of his complexion, and since his complexion is light skin, he is safe for certain to expand in certain mediums to where another
Yeah,
side
you
of
know,
an
I've
audience will not feel threatened by that appearance.
yeah. Like, I could see something similar with like Doja Cat. Like, I actually have heard somebody say something about like Doja Cat in that same way. Like, she's
Yeah,
just on the lighter skin side.
I've heard she is. I've never
But
seen what she looks like.
oh, dude, she's got some really wonderful like music videos that are like sci-fi inspired that are so
I've
fun.
heard.
Yeah, and her homemade stuff, her like original homemade stuff is pretty fun too. She's funny. I've dug her for a long time, but yeah.
It's almost like, and I love relating things always back to hip hop or sports. I can make sports analogies all day.
Oh god, they're gonna go over my head, but go for it.
Yeah, I'm trying.
For the people,
Yeah,
for the
I'm
people.
trying to think like a really really good example. I don't know. I don't want to lose you with the hip hop. You ever heard of a rapper called Logic?
Yeah,
Okay, so you know who he is.
yeah,
Okay, so you take you take a good look at Logic and what he looks like.
yeah.
I feel like someone like him could have easily been casted in Hamilton.
Hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's also just the me trying to just figure out why did Lin Manuel make this production?
I'm gonna Google it and see if he's already answered it.
And then all this other crap about like him researching Hamilton and thought it was a cool story to tell. Like, honestly, who gives a shit? Like, I don't, I don't think anyone in the Black community gives a fuck about Hamilton, nor about any of the
Yeah.
forefathers. And
Yeah. I can see it.
and you know, the more I watch this, the more I believe that this production was never meant to aim towards the Black community or any minority community at all. I think this
Hmm.
production is really for white people to feel,
Hmm.
to have a I don't know, to maybe look at what they think hip hop is in a
Hmm.
more mainstream light or in a more safer light or however you want to call it.
Yeah. It's like very like contained little package. Yeah. No. And I think like I've read a lot of stuff that like concurs with you about that. And yeah, it's yeah. I'm I'm interested to hear more about that. But yeah.
Well,
I mean if you wanna go into it now or afterwards, either one, I'm up for it. I don't know if you want to try to finish watching it at this point or not.
no, you're definitely gonna finish it. I mean, there's only 20 minutes left,
Yeah.
and at this point, I can't even name a single line of dialogue that has happened
Yeah.
in this film. But to hear more about it, I think, or you know, I'll just wait on it.
Yeah.
But to bring up to bring more to light to what you're talking about, you want to hear more about it. Like I just said, I think this production is really made for white white America so they can
Mhm.
view or maybe glance at what they believe hip hop is.
Yeah. To feel it's white American to make them feel like are getting diversity, like
Exactly.
they're diver yeah, it makes white America feel like they're doing something good or supporting supporting the black community, even though this I don't know if this really does, you know?
Oh, it definitely doesn't. But it's
Yeah.
almost in a sense of there's so many angles you can talk about it from.
Mhm.
Um like for an example, I'll use you as an example from our last from our last conversation we had. We were watching it because
Uh-huh.
I was like, you know, Darby, I'll I'll be honest. I don't. What is this? I don't think this is hip hop. Like this is not feel like hip hop for me. From a
Yeah.
black individual who has grew up in a
Yeah.
household who's listened to
Of hip
hip
hop.
hop, lives
Yeah.
in hip hop culture, all this good stuff. I'm like, this is not
Yeah.
hip hop. And
Yeah.
then for you, your comment was, "Oh, okay. Well, yeah, this isn't standard hip hop."
Oh god,
And
yeah.
then I was like,
It's true.
in my mind, I was like, "What the fuck is standard hip hop?"
Yeah.
Which is funny, but
Yeah.
that only goes to play at who this content was really made for and what they believe hip hop is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it's simply this like the fact that like the rap structure, like I mean, people have been spitting like verse on stage since Shakespeare, right? But you don't see you don't see like this the lyrical way that these like that a lot of these songs are portrayed, you know? Like these long verses of rap that are rapped. You haven't seen that on Broadway in a long time. Or well, you haven't ever seen that on Broadway. It's all show tunes. So the fact that it's even stepping in that direction is crazy to kind of see, and like it was revolutionary and it did really shock a lot of people to see, and like people glommed onto it and loved it.
They glommed onto it and loved
But
it
yeah.
because it was a safe depiction of
Mhm.
black Americans depicting that.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure we can
It's very
I'm
true.
pretty sure we can I can't name them, but I'm pretty sure there are still plays out there that are hip hop theme, and no one has talked about them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But like Broadway, like I'm not I cannot even begin to say that I'm an expert on Broadway. I'm not. Like musicals aren't really my forte and like I've never really wanted to go to New York to do the whole thing. Like I like my weird indie theater stuff. But like yeah, this was Lin Manuel had even been writing. He wrote In the Heights and stuff before this, but because it was Hamilton, it was a story everyone knew. It was a story that everyone felt safe and like weirdly felt like especially white people felt ownership over. Yeah, to have it told in this new way, I think you're totally right. Like it's yeah, I don't even know how to say it, but
I know how to say it.
you've said it.
It's
Yeah, go.
buffoonery. It's buffoonery
No.
at its finest. It's almost kind of, and I was telling my friends this. I was like, it's almost kind of like blackface without being
Mm,
blackface
mm, yeah.
in terms of
Mm,
like maybe it would be completely something else if the Asian actress maybe would have rapped or
mhm.
someone else. I mean, Lin Manuel raps in this
Yeah, she
production
does
as well.
beatbox at one point.
That is true.
I'll say that. But yeah. Yeah, I could see that I could see how it's buffoonery. Yeah, you're right. And I very much appreciate watching this with you. I I waded very boldly into these muddy waters. I wasn't sure how it was gonna go, but
I
I just hoped that I didn't embarrass myself, but I did, and that's okay, I hope.
You're going to be voted off due to popular demand.
You know, and I respect that decision, and I will climb into my hole, and I will accept that.
No,
I will
I'm
accept
joking.
that.
Yeah, there's no one I would rather watch this movie with than you.
Oh
Absolutely.
god.
Because I don't think I don't think anyone else I can have this conversation with that's well versed in theater
Mhm.
and especially who is well versed in this play and loves
Mhm.
this play. You're the only person I can
I
have this conversation with.
and I don't know if I love it,
No,
but like I
you
I
love it.
did. I definitely did love it at one point in my life, but like I said, like and I'm pretty sure I said earlier when before we started that it did like sour over time for me. Like yeah, I remember
How so?
during the pandemic when this well, it was just I did start to hear how it was it was sort of like parading these styles and people were saying like just like you were kind of calling me out on it like people were saying that this was oh like this is black culture on Broadway but people were very quickly firing back and there was a lot of criticism back and forth about it and
Okay. You can go ahead and finish.
but when this particular thing came out on Disney Plus um it it triggered like a second wave after the album had dropped, you know? And I remember my partner at the time really got into it because he saw it and he loved it. He started listening to the album because he hadn't heard it before. He'd like listen to it on repeat all the time and I just like I remember I couldn't really get back into it in the same way.
Mhm.
Like I remember thinking like hearing those criticisms go through my mind like you learn more and like yeah the rose colored glasses kind of fall down but all right this is like the finale so I'll let you listen to it if you want to or comment if you want to it's up to you.
I would just comment. There's nothing I'm like the dialogue, the lines is literally I was
Oh
like I try to listen to it and I just can't.
yeah, I will tell you though this is where the whole Eliza storyline comes back around uh because Eliza steps up here in a minute and her stuff is really worth it here. Yes queen.
What a funny production.
Yeah. And this is the really sweetest part. She is the true angel. He didn't deserve her. Yep.
Moa has a huge forehead. I'm just not realizing this. She's smiling because she noticed it too.
All right, this is the this this last moment before it goes to blackout is it still gives me questions. I'm interested to see what you think. Give it a second. Blackout. All right.
Wait, so that like her
Yeah, her gasping at what, you know?
What was it?
I don't know.
Oh, I love it. I love it when films do this. If they don't give you enough information, that means I can put anything in my mind to that theory to make it make sense. So I think she saw Black Jesus.
Hell yeah. Actually, I adopt that too. I think she also saw Black Jesus.
In the shape of a little white girl.
Oh, God. Okay, well, you have now seen the entirety of Hamilton.
Who's that guy?
Which guy?
The guy just popped out of nowhere.
Sorry, I paused.
Oh, was that the director?
Probably. I'm jumping ahead. Oh, that was probably the composer.
Oh, okay.
Or like the who's the guy that waves the stick in the band?
I would do anything.
Conductor.
Okay. I would do anything to talk to everybody that witnessed that production and ask them how they felt about it. I would give an arm and a leg.
How do you feel about it, Carlin?
I feel that Hamilton is white America giving the same statement, or the white America showing the same statement that us Black people feel that we've always had. Or what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say I feel that Hamilton is basically, in simple terms, everybody wants to be Black, but nobody wants to be Black. In a nutshell, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna make another example with Aquafina. I don't know if you've ever seen that show.
Aquafina's show?
Yeah, Aquafina. You ever seen that show?
No, I know the actress, but no, I haven't.
Yes, the actress. So the actress is, you can almost correlate that entire show to Hamilton, because she grew up in New York and things like that, and her character on the show, she speaks in a very urban dialect on the show. And I was thinking, if that's where she's from, it's this and that and the third, right? But then when you see her on these other films and these other interviews and things like that, there is no dialect. And it was as if it was all just a gimmick. So
yeah,
that's what this production of Hamilton came off as. Something that I felt like Lin-Manuel had good intentions of doing. It almost seems like, I think I explained it to my friends the other night as if It's a white friend who has a bunch of other black friends, who is very well liked and respected, and to make him feel more that he is in harmony with his friends or accepting, he just goes out and just says the N-word with them just because he feels
Mm,
like he's a part of them. I
hmm.
feel like his intentions were good, but overall it's still highly disrespectful.
Yeah, so with this kind of like been reading a lot about like the difference between appropriation versus like appreciation. And you think this like from what you just said, it sounds like this lands more in the appropriation side of things.
It 100%. I
Yeah.
100% believe that. And I think it's so funny that you said that a lot of these actors got put on the map and got booking commercial shows, movies, all this stuff because in a
Mm.
sense, I would say all these actors put on, I would say, a white performance, and kind of like what you would
Mm.
see 300 years ago, people just performing themselves on a stage to be brought so they can be marketable towards their own audience in
Mm.
some other
Mm-hmm.
regard. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. And I feel like I can talk about this movie for years.
Yeah. No, I mean like I'm here to hear it. Like yeah, cuz I from my view in a weird way, yeah, this was aimed at people like me. Like I'm a liberal. Like I wanted things to be better. Like even in the industries that I'm in, like I'm trying to like promote that diversity, right? And so like people watch this kind of stuff and feel good about themselves. But yeah, that's the problem is that like you can't just watch stuff like this. There has to be like so much more to your activism and your anti-racism and different things like
Well,
that.
I think you
And
hit it. You hit the nail in the
yeah.
coffin. They watch productions like this to make themselves feel
Hmm.
better about it.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Man. Yeah, and you know, it's because I do have a friend who does like who like does enjoy this, or rather, I don't know if she loves the movie, but yeah, she's the one that loves Washington. She's the one that loves
Listen,
Washington, and
I
like
believe that you and your friend deeply love this production, especially if you
I,
cry about it in the car singing it. That's a whole
this
nother
was years
level of
ago.
love.
That was literally in college, right? Like it's been years since then. Like, yeah, it's yeah. I don't know. It's your feelings about these things can change, and I think a lot of people get caught up in like in having loved something and having something have been a huge part of their life for like a good chunk of time and having so many memories around it,
Absolutely.
and then to learn stuff about it that like colors it differently. I think a lot of people get caught up and like they get angry or they fight back and like they say like they try to tear down other people's ideas about it because it's contradicting their love. But yeah, like things get complicated and like yeah, something like this is complicated. It's complex
It's
and it like brings up
beautiful.
these
It's
conversations.
absolutely beautiful when people feel so enraged by it because they because right now what they're doing is they're
Uh-huh.
really objecting the process of unlearning that every human being goes
Mhm.
through, depending on
Mhm.
if you're indoctrinated by whatever piece of media that was bestowed upon you at a very young age or a very late age to what you view on race, love, sexuality,
Mhm.
all this stuff. There will come a
Yeah.
time where someone will challenge your beliefs, and
Mhm.
it is up to you to decipher, not if they're right or wrong, but if whatever information that they just gave you is worth researching to see if that contradicts what you've gone through or what you
Yeah, what
believe in.
you've believed.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's kind of the thing. You have to be able to take in new information and incorporate it into your system. Otherwise you don't otherwise you're stagnant. Otherwise you get into these really divisive like like these divisive belief systems that it's just so stubborn, and I think people are so stubborn. But yeah. There's something. When a lot of this criticism was beginning to come out about this, uh, like Lin Manuel and a lot of and like the people that are supporting the show and stuff like that, they really pushed the narrative that it was a story about immigrants, like because Hamilton is an immigrant, so
Mm.
uh, people like Black, Latinx, like all of these other like immigrants to the US. Like we are all immigrants except for Native Americans, but like he was trying to push that like he was trying to represent and give voice to these immigrant communities through this. And that's why you see the colorful cast. Um but yeah, I remember that's the narrative that they really pushed with it after the fact when
which
they started getting flack.
which is so marketable towards white
Mhm.
America, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely
Yeah.
not going to go watch a play about our forefathers. Just sounds boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds boring. And then on one
Yeah.
of my notes, I also wrote down that, and this is like just me writing, not really thinking. I wrote that this is a psychological horror that every waking second it breaks the fourth wall and it's telling Black America how it, or it's telling white America how they really feel about minorities.
Ah,
it that really
interesting.
that re- that whole thing really started once those Black characters started rapping and beatboxing
Uh,
in the first
yeah.
7 minutes.
Hmm. And there's so much for me to just digest and like sit on. You've given me a lot to think about, Carlin. Thank you for that.
I, I can see, I can see it would be really funny if this conversation ended like, "Wow, thanks, Carlin. I really appreciate you exposing me to that. I'll talk to you later." And in the moment you hang up, you just delete my number.
Oh my god, I would never. Oh my
It's
god.
so funny.
And no, I exposed you to this. Oh god.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I almost feel like
You
it's
did
my
say you want
duty to talk about this on my channel now.
Well, the thing was, you did say you wanted to watch more theater, and like, what's better than the biggest theater thing that has been filmed in the past few years,
100%. Yeah,
I'll show
100%.
you. I feel like the next one that I bring you should be like Judy Taymor's Midsummer Night Dream.
Is that a
I got some
oh, that's a film too, right?
it's a film of a show, yeah.
Then that means you're gonna have to come on a podcast again because I'm not interested in watching that.
Well, to steal a line from you, this this movie is somebody's favorite
It
movie.
is.
Uh, since you're the one that hasn't seen it before, I feel like you should do your little like review at the end, that you usually do.
Yeah, so I mean, my appreciation for it, I mean, everything is beautiful from costume
Yeah.
design to how the
Besides those white tights. Ugh.
I mean, even that, but costume design, makeup, hair, production design, the lighting, the uh, even the songs. I mean, I can honestly say I don't care for the songs, but even I can
Mhm.
agree that they're very catchy,
Yeah.
very catchy, very very radio safe. So everything about this is so mathematically done to a T.
I do remember, since like you saying that jogged this memory, was that I can't remember who it was that pointed it out to me, but somebody early on said that they had listened to In the Heights, which is Lin Manuel's other show that he wrote.
Mhm.
It's now a movie and stuff, but they said they were just like it's like the same thing. Like he essentially takes this equation that he figured out in the Heights and put it on Hamilton. I remember somebody telling me
But
that.
here's the thing. Now, there's two things I want to say. The first one
Yeah.
is my Nightmare on Elm Street podcast. My friend was even telling me that she liked In the Heights, and she was like, "Oh well, maybe you shouldn't have watched Hamilton first to be exposed to Lin Manuel because
Mm.
Hamilton is like, or In the Heights is actually really good." Then I told her Encanto was the first thing I watched, and I thought that was mid. And then now it's Hamilton, which now I'm never gonna watch his stuff again. And the second thing is, I feel because In the Heights was about what was In the Heights about? Like another minority class.
I think it's about the heights in New York City. I
Okay.
didn't watch it.
Okay. Then maybe I'll reframe it to what I was going to say. But I was going to say maybe there's something psychologically damaging going on in Lin Manuel's head to where he feels that it is his duty to talk about other races in
Huh.
his production as if they need a charity and need to be appreciated. Like it's his thing.
Well, he like even though he was sort of raised on it, on like that genre of music.
Hmm.
Huh. Yeah. Okay.
Because we see it, you can see it here in Hamilton. And you can definitely see it in Encanto as well.
Mm-hmm. You haven't seen Moana.
I saw bits and pieces of it. I thought it was boring.
Yeah. Wow. Ow. That one hurts me a little bit. That one's a good one. But yeah, I like the story in that one more than anything. Mainly, I like the volcano goddess essentially.
Maybe I would
But
have got to the story. They weren't singing so much.
but yeah, that was also Lynn. That was Miranda.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay. All right. Well, all the production things are good. You said. Did you have a favorite part? I
Um,
used to ask this question with my family every time we left a movie.
let's
Like it was my
see.
first thing.
Yes, yes,
What's your
because I
favorite
think I
part?
talked about it with my friends the other day. I
Huh?
think my favorite part, let me see if I can go back and look at it. I think my favorite part is right before King, was it King Henry or
Uh,
King George?
I think it's I think it's George,
Okay.
I think. Oh god.
So it's right before King George where the
Oh, Samuel Seabury?
no. It's where the black actors are kind of dancing and rapping with each other,
Uh-huh.
being very extra, being very flamboyant with their performance and portraying these characters of this hip hop persona to the audience, and the audience is just eating it up. I think that's my favorite part because, in my opinion, I think I found a formula on how to succeed in theater, and I think I'm going to
Oh,
start
yeah?
writing a play. Hear
Okay.
me out, Darby. It's
Okay,
going
I'm
to
here.
be a play about. It's going to be a play about black historical figures,
Okay.
all performed by Asian people, and
Okay.
all the music will be country music.
Brilliant.
They will have to love it.
Brilliant.
They would have to love it. The Asian community will love it.
Brilliant.
The country people who love country will have to love it.
I love it. I love it. Actually, yeah, if you need help, I'm around. I do
Young
some reads for
20-year-olds
you.
will cry in their car while singing to the soundtrack.
Ah! Oh my god. Okay, that song got me through some breakups, okay? Like
Now we learn even more.
jeez. It's okay. I deserve it.
No, that makes sense. So I think honestly it's, and I always believe that any emotional trauma that anybody is going through, they can attach themselves to a media no matter what content it is or how good or bad it is. As long as
Yeah.
it helps them cope with it, then it'll forever be instilled on them.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Well, don't you have a rating out of 10 to get to?
Oh, I'll give it a 2.
All right. Two it is. Two it is.
Yeah, and I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
well done.
you already described how much you love You love this production and whatnot.
I did. I don't. What would I give it now? That's actually a really hard one to come with. You know, at one point in my life, I probably would have given it like a solid 8 out of 10.
Even when you were
Um,
crying in the car?
yeah, like at its height. At its height, I would have said 8 out of 10.
I don't believe that.
No, I am not one to give an easy 10 out of 10. Let me be clear. There are very few movies in my and I would not do that for a musical. I just don't like musicals that much. uh, I liked this one because of the people that I watched it with, like the community that I did. Like we were talking about going to the movie, and like I definitely had a friend group that I listened to these songs with, right?
Mhm.
And so like when that friend group moved on, it changed. And
They moved on to other
yeah.
musicals.
uh different yeah, different albums, different albums.
I see what you're
But
saying.
like yeah, honestly, like now I feel like entertainment wise and everything, like I feel like I'd give it a 5. I feel like I'd give it a 5. Like yeah.
I still
I'll
don't
I'll,
believe
I'll
that.
well, who knows, dude.
Because throughout watching it, you were. I can tell you had the biggest smile on your face through every scene.
You Pusha. Mainly it's because of your commentary, because we were talking the whole time and you were cracking me up. But yeah, I still have favorite songs in here, of course. And David Diggs is still a joy in my mind. And like, yeah, like there are characters in here that I love watching perform. But yeah, I do feel differently about it now. Like,
Hmm.
and I like took on more information talking to you about it. And that's cool.
It would be really funny if this was just a phone call, and I'm like, "Well, Darby, I'm happy that you took my opinion. I guess I'll talk
Oh
to you later,
gosh.
right?" And then all I hear
Oh,
is,
and of course.
"This caller has blocked your number."
Oh my god. Do you really think I'm that type of
No,
person? I'm
no.
I'm
You
hurt.
do seem
I'm
like the
hurt.
type of
Okay,
person
okay,
though that would watch a movie, cry over it, and be like, "Oh my god, that's so powerful." And then the next day when someone asks you like, "What you thought of the movie?" Uh, it's all right.
okay. It has been years since I have cried over this movie. Thank you very much. Did I get goosebumps when Philippa Sue does her thing? Yes, I did. But you know what? I feel like that's a very human reaction to high emotions. And this was a very manipulative show. And I feel like I shouldn't be blamed for being manipulated so well.
Oh no, it's not.
No.
Well, but all right, Starfighters, that was the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought of the Hamilton production. Choose sides. Do you believe Darby was right or she was wrong in her opinions, or do you think I'm just all the way wrong, or maybe it's somewhere in the middle? Did you also cry in the car when you watched this? Yeah, well, we'll see. Uh, But yeah, or if you're listening to this wherever you find your podcast, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever, please leave a review and I will see you on the next one. But until then, victory or death, Starfighters.
Victory or death!